Welcome back to Starkiller Base. Today we have the round 2 featured match from the face-to-face game store championship for 2017. On the left we have Lanny playing eMaz, and on the right we have myself, John Goe, playing eUnkar First Order Stormtrooper. So as you can see, Lanny brought Frozen Waste to the table, and I am running the Mos Eisley Spaceport. Lanny's got a dice tower off camera there, which is a little bit unfortunate because we can't see his rolls until he pulls the dice out of them. But I believe I won initiative there, and I took my battlefield because I like my character dice where they are, and I really don't expect to be doing a lot of claiming. So I lead off with a Friends in Low Places, and I get rid of Loth Cat and Mouse there. He's got 2 planetary uprisings, a rocket launcher, and a fast hands. So he definitely got his fast hands, and he's going to be putting that one out, like so. And hopefully he can't get 4 resources and put out both planetaries, because this would make my job a hell of a lot harder. So the one thing I like about the eUnkar FN First Order deck is that it's really difficult to decide who to kill first. I find that, you know, if you're playing a deck that has a lot of 2 or less cost upgrades, and I get an early Imperial Inspection out, then it's probably a really good thing to kill eUnkar first, but otherwise you kill FN. And for eMaz, what I do is, if the Emperor's Throne Room is not the active battlefield, I kill Maz first. Because, I mean, Poe can roll in, he can fast hand something, and then you can just control his second die. So Lanny put 3 damage into FN. I played it a holdout blaster after rolling in eUnkar. With the ambush action, I eUnkar his hand, and I hit one of those planetary uprising and get 2 resources. Then he rolls in Maz. He's looking to get some focus and do something with that Poe die, but he hits a resource and a range damage instead. There's only a 42% chance of rolling a focus on 2 of Maz's dice, so statistically you actually aren't going to roll it every time. And when you don't, it's kind of unfortunate, especially if you don't have the throne room. So I'm doing some of this FN shenanigans here. I put a Vibronuclears over top of the holdout blaster, I roll it in, and I think I'm just deciding here whether or not to pay 1 to increase it, but it's not like 2 is that much more damage, so save it. With the ambush action, I overwrite it and put in the Z6 Riot Control Baton, which is my favorite weapon in the game. I roll it in and hit the 3 for 1 and smack Maz for 3 more, and now I've done 4 damage to Maz and I haven't even rolled in FN yet, so it's a pretty good spot here. Lanny plays at a planetary uprising and makes my life much more difficult. Makes me think that maybe I should have left those disrupts out and just kept them off of 2 resources. So I roll in the First Order Trooper, I got a 2 for 1. Lanny claims, and I ask him if he wants to trigger his trigger the battlefield ability. I know that he has a rocket launcher left in his hand, so he does, and he puts fast hands back in his hand, and I'm actually really excited about that because I'd love to get rid of that fast hands, even though it doesn't get me those 3 resources from the rocket launcher. I mean, there's plenty of 3 cost things to throw at me, but there's only 2 fast hands in the whole deck. So I could do 3 damage to Maz here, but I want to get rid of that. I mean, 3 resources is great. Getting fast hands is great, so I'm sort of torn here on whether to, you know, do the 3 damage or to get rid of something. So I'm using those 2, and I'm uncarring.
And I'm actually happy with either, frankly.
And as I tell Lanny, I'm happy with either. And I hit the fast hands, and in my head, I am super excited. I get 0 resources for it, but Maz is almost dead. He doesn't have the throne room as the battlefield, and his fast hands is gone. So that's pretty great. When Lanny claimed, I took some damage on my other 2 characters there. It starts adding up pretty fast, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll stick around there. I do apologize for the glare once again. We moved the camera, but the light in this store is it's very bright. So Lanny's starting off with a field medic on Maz to keep her alive a bit longer, so she needs 5 damage to die now, which is kind of sad news. So I played a salvage stand. Imperial Inspection doesn't do all that much against eMaz. I'm not looking for it. I didn't mulligan for it because, I mean, you know, I guess they could, if Lanny's running Maz's goggles or cunning, I could get rid of that, but I mean that's like maybe 2, maybe 4 cards in the deck. Probably not. So Lanny plays hit and run, rolls in Poe, and I'm guessing that he We'll see what he rolled in just a second here. Guessing he didn't roll very well, otherwise he would have already thrown something at me. Generally, when you roll in Poe with a hit and run, you roll in Maz. Even if you hit the specials, you roll in Maz next, because you can always do something and just resolve your 2 best dice. It looks like Poe got a resource and a blank, which is not very good. And then Maz got a shield and a blank. So I'm getting pretty lucky with the rolls here, and I'm not complaining about it, frankly. So then takes a shield and a resource, and I roll an eUnkar. I get a focus and a blank. Now, Lanny actually has to manually reroll dice. I know, crazy to hear that in a Poe Maz deck, but I guess that's one of the strengths of the throne room, is he could just, if he was running it, he could just claim, turn the Poe die to a special, and hit me with a thermal or something like that. So Lanny's putting out a deal 44 on Poe. I get rid of my blank eUnkar die. I've still got all my money from the turn. I've got a focus showing. With his ambush action, he does a reroll, gets a ranged and a disrupt. So I spend my money to avoid the disrupt there. Put a gaffy stick out on FN, and I'll roll it in. I get the disrupt. Sometimes with FN, it's good to just resolve that, even if it does nothing, just so that rather than having to re-roll it, you roll FN in and you're effectively re-rolling the die that way without having to discard. In the case of the disrupt, you know, it's nice to hit Imperial Inspection with a disrupt, but with the gaffy stick, there's only really a few usable sides. Like there's no damage dice that don't cost something, whether they cost a resource or another melee die. So Lanny did a damage to FN and then claimed, and I put another damage on eUnkar and the First Order Trooper. And FN's coming in here. He gets a blank, a resource, and a blank after rerolling. So the First Order Trooper die there is a 1 range. And then of course I've got eUnkar's focus, so I don't have any money, but I could focus I could take the money on the gaffy stick and focus the Z6 to something, but I think I'll be doing a reroll here because I've got a bunch of dice that I'd rather have on another side.
Wow, it got worse.
And I rerolled into triple blanks. Woo, baby. Thankfully he's claimed and he's not running Feel Your Anger in his deck, because I've seen that rip out entire turns. I reroll again, I get a 2 for 1 on FN, I get a resource, and I get a blank. So take the resource. I focus the riot control baton to a 2, and then I do 4 to Maz, 5 to Maz in total. So she should have 1 hit point left because of those shields. So I'll see if I can get a quick weapon deploy on FN and get the kill here. I'll see what we can do. Doesn't take much to get 1 damage on Maz and finish her off.
Sorry? You haven't been able to roll a focus in on Maz yet.
Oh, that's true.
So Poe is definitely going to be a threat with that deal 44 out on him, but as soon as Maz dies and Fast Hands is gone, Poe's not really that big a deal if you ask me. So Lanny starts off with a dug in, which is really unfortunate for me, but I just drew into a Vibro Knife, so I'm going to go for the 2 in 6 chance at hitting the 1 melee through the shields, and there we go. She goes down. So that was fortunate for me. I mean, she wasn't going to be too long for the world, but I mean, it's 4 damage. I would have to do it versus 1, so definitely take it. And I have my ambush action still. I spent all my money, but I've got plenty of dice and plenty of rerolls. So FN's going to come in here, get some dice in the pool, maybe for a he doesn't like you or something like that. I got a 3 melee for 1, a resource, a +2, and a 2 melee for 1.
Well, maybe I'll get a...
I reroll the Z6 because Lanny went to play the defensive position really quickly, and I figured I'd reroll the Z6 and see if I could get under the radar there. You should always give your opponent a moment to do their triggers, you know, count to 3 or something like that, so you don't give away too much information. So eUnkar comes in, that salvage stand's doing nothing still, and he gets double focus. Double focus is nothing to scoff at, of course. I can turn those dice that I have in the pool there into 4 melee damage. So Poe comes in with a 2 range, a 3 range for 1, and a 1 resource. I resolve my double focus and set those dice to 4 melee damage to go through those shields there. Lanny's taking a resource. And I wish I could hit something with a salvage stand and get rid of that resource and save myself 3 damage, but probably not likely to happen. So I roll on the trooper and hope for the 1 and 6. I get a 2 range, which is, you know, not bad. I mean, it's not like FN was gonna die from that. He's not doing too hot with 1 hit point left, but he's not dead. So Lanny claimed here, and the damage is definitely adding up from that planetary uprising. I was hesitating to put the first order trooper to 3 damage because then he's a falcon or a rocket launcher away from being dead. But I mean, if he wants to kill the first order trooper instead of eUnkar, then that's fine with me. So I played an Imperial Inspection because, once your opponent's claimed already, you can afford to put it out there. I put 2 damage into Poe and get rid of shields. And it's a pretty tight game here. I'm a little concerned still. I mean, Poe's only got 8 hit points left, but he's a dangerous dude, and that planetary uprising is going to trigger pretty much every turn. FN's only got 1 hit point left. If Poe can get a thermal off or something like that, I'm in big trouble. But thankfully, he doesn't have any fast hands. He hasn't seen his fast hands again. And Lanny was telling me after the game that he was really regretting at this point putting that fast hands back in his hand because it took him so long to see another one. So Lanny rolls in a blank, a disrupt, and a +2. And I'm overriding the vibro knife with vibro knucklers. I get to roll it in, and I have an ambush action. I get a blank.
I will override the knucklers with a flamethrower.
And then I override the knucklers with a flamethrower. I think I'm looking to get some redeploy on here. So I get the 2 on the flamethrower. The trick to FN is that you want to put as much stuff on him as you can, and then when he's about to die, you switch over to, you switch over to as many redeploy items as you can. Lanny plays unpredictable on the Poe die. Rolls it in, gets a 2, and kills FN. So it would be nice if I had another redeploy item on the 3rd upgrade slot, but Lanny's considering he only needed 1 damage to kill FN. And for some reason, he decided to resolve the DL44 as well, just to get it off the board, I guess. I don't know. I would do that if my opponent was running force throw or something like that, maybe, but I'm not sure why he did it in this case. So eUnkar rolls in. He gets a focus, a 2 disrupt, a 1 disrupt, and a blank. I reroll the Z6 and get another blank. So I'm cautiously optimistic here, but I only have 11 total hit points left, and it goes down pretty fast when planetary uprising is hitting. So Lanny overwrites the DL44 with the DL44. I get rid of the gaffy stick die, and he has an ambush action. He plays field medic on Poe. I've got too many dice to claim ahead of him, so I just need to try to maximize my damage with it. I got a resource. I got the Z6 with eUnkar's focus. I roll on the first order trooper and get a 2 ranged. Lanny discards a rocket launcher to reroll and hits a 2. I went to play flank and then I realized I didn't have more ready characters than him because neither of us have any ready characters. I'm focusing the Z6 to the 3 for 1. Put the first order trooper for 2. Oh, changed his mind. Yeah, I was gonna say. Given the choice, I'd probably kill eUnkar first. So I put 3 damage into Poe. And as tempting as it is to eUnkar him again, the 2 damage on the first order trooper die is not worth getting rid of. So Lanny claims I put the damage on the first order trooper here. I'm quickly running out of hit points. I put 2 more into Poe. He's got 3 hit points left. Unfortunately, I don't have FN to put a weapon on, roll in, and potentially hit him for 3 without him being able to do anything about it. Rocket launcher is really good for that. I played another Imperial Inspection just because. Disrupt his resource. And then probably going to pass here. So this is a pretty close game, even though Lanny's rolls were pretty bad. that planetary uprising has done like 10 damage or something ridiculous like that. Call it a slow burn if you want, but I mean most Poe games don't go 5 turns, but yeah, it's pretty scary. So Poe rolls in with his 3 very dangerous dice. He gets a resource, a 2 ranged, and a 3 ranged for 1. That was a really good roll. Of course, Poe's supposed to be exhausted here, and I know that he knows that I have a flank in my hand still. And since Poe doesn't need the money, I'd get rid of the 3. I mean, in some cases you get rid of the 2, make him pay to fire off the 3. For some reason he re-rolled his 2. He must have something juicy in his hand, but I mean the 2 could have killed the first order trooper. He re-rolls into a disrupt and a resource, so definitely not what he was looking for. So I finally get to trigger Savage Stand. Woohoo! I disrupt, a resource, 2 disrupt, and a blank. And Lanny discards a dead electroshock, re-rolls, and gets 2 resources. So I definitely don't have the damage sides that I need, or the focus sides, but I've got quite a few cards to do some re-rolling here. It's interesting, in this matchup, Emperor's Throne would be really great, but I actually still think that Frozen Waste is a better choice, because when you're fighting Vader Raider or Luke or Baze or Poe or Palpatine, being able to get rid of that character is a really big deal. So I re-roll, I use the Gaffy 6 special and the Z6 to do 3 damage to Poe and kill him, and that's the GG. So thanks for watching, everybody. That was definitely a close game. We'll have round 3 coming out in a few days, so keep an eye out for that. If you like our content, please do like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Starkiller Base.